Welcome into Hand Raise, guys. I'm Neal McCready. Chase Parham with me as well. We'll be with you here for the next however long y'all want to be here. What it boils down to. Ole Miss loses 33-21. It's the final from Fayetteville. Mississippi State, that final, since we last talked to you, that game's final as well. Texas A&M beats the Bulldogs 28-14. What the Braves Dodgers end up doing?
I don't know.
I didn't even look. We were just saying the last 45 minutes, about the only stressful 45 minutes.
3-1, 8th inning.
My column is up at rebelgrove.com. It's Corral has humbling performance and loss to Hogs. Humbling was the word that he and Lane Kiffin used. So we'll talk about that. I'll get Jeffrey Wright on a little bit. We'll talk to Blake Kokenauer. We'll have our Bourbon of the Week, which is this week a Whistle Pig 18.
Yeah, Big Gun this week. Kind of fitting, I guess, playing Arkansas. But Whistle Pig 18 is this one. Double malt straight rye whiskey. It's 92 proof on this one. They like it. Let's say Whistle Pig is very fond of that rye. So we'll give it a shot here in a minute. I've had a lot of Whistle Pig. I've never had the 18. So we'll see what it's about. They produce 10, 12, 15, and 18 each year, as well as their the Boss Hog editions. So, we'll get to that.
What'd you think? What's the takeaway after listening to the Zooms?
There is no quarterback controversy as we expected. He said that essentially he does not believe in pulling quarterbacks. He said that creates confidence issues, that creates team issues, that creates a lot of different issues when you do that. That he sticks with guys. He said he told Plumlee at one point it'd be the same if the situation were reversed and he was QB1. I thought Matt basically said that Arkansas tricked him in coverage. He said he knew what the coverage was and he just didn't see it. There were really no excuses. Lane said that that one of them was some sort of other issue, but for the most part he locked into receivers too much. He didn't do enough with his eyes and put it on Matt. So, I think that was one thing. It's obviously true, but everybody was very straightforward with what caused a lot of the problems today. And Ole Miss, look, I think overall they're a better football team than Arkansas, but Ole Miss, Arkansas out-schemed them today. They out-executed them today overall. And they had a good game plan, frankly, on both sides of the ball. Felipe Franks didn't make a lot of mistakes, and he did enough to win, whereas Ole Miss turned the ball over 7 times, including 6 picks. That's the story of the game. Arkansas had 24 points off Ole Miss turnovers. Ole Miss had 0 points off Arkansas turnovers. That's pretty much your game.
Ole Miss had two blown opportunities at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and a pick 6.
7 interceptions. 6 interceptions, a fumble, another failure to convert. You're not going to win that way.
No, it was amazing they had the ball with 3 minutes left with a chance to go win a football game.
That was the credit to their defense, and Kiffin talked about that. Look, one of the things that he said at the very end, and it's in my column, we talked about this with we were talking about Arkansas at the time, but it applies to Ole Miss too, because there's no damn difference between 4-8 and 2-10. Let me just break that to everybody. Losing is losing, and when you're losing all the time, you're losing. And this team doesn't have a lot of confidence yet. They were getting some. They were playing with some swag and all of that stuff, but it's fragile, and that was the word he used. Confidence is fragile. And today, when things went badly, it took them a little while to get out of it, and then they got back. They had opportunities. The defense gave them opportunities in the second half, but they couldn't finish the deal. There's a number of reasons for that. But you got to put it on Corral. And I wrote this, though, but for 3 games, Matt Corral carried this team. He did. Mm-hmm. Matt Corral's the reason that Ole Miss beat Kentucky. Today, Matt Corral was the reason Ole Miss lost to Arkansas.
Look, people are going to mirror it. They're going to mirror what Arkansas did. He's going to see that coverage that he talked about by length in post-game with Auburn next week and whomever the next week and whomever the next week. That's going to happen. So we'll see how he adjusts to it, because what's what we're talking about is we're watching the game, and we don't know what's going on yet. We haven't talked to anybody. Lane hasn't had his Zoom. Matt hasn't had his Zoom. Matt made really good decisions for 3 weeks, and today he made horrific decisions over and over and over and over again. So the question's why, and now how can he adapt to it? Because he said he knew what Arkansas was going to do. He had not seen it. He said Ole Miss's defense had basically run a version of it, but they couldn't simulate it the way that
there was
Arkansas
a different wrinkle to it, and they tried to adjust to it, and they never could get that adjustment down.
Yeah, he said that essentially his reads were bad for what was being done. That was the way he put it. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, no, look, it is a program. It is a season as much as it is a game. I know there's already talk in the chat. I get it. I understand you're frustrated. You're doing a lot of different things if you pull Matt Corral in that football game. And I don't know what
it'd be idiotic
season you're
serving. No, it would be stupid. Everything that we've talked about you're trying to show Luke Altmaier what you're trying to do. You're already talking about Arch Manning. There's already talk about Arch Manning reclassifying and moving up a year. If that's the case, then he's a year away from a big decision. He might be a year away removed from a big decision anyway. You're trying to show them this is what we do. This is how you handle quarterbacks. I thought Matt had a really interesting quote where he said, "What did Lane tell you?" He was asked, "What did Kiffin tell you?" He said, "He told me that he had my back. And when you're a quarterback who played like I did tonight, that's all you can ask for." I mean, obviously, if Matt Corral comes out and throws 6 interceptions in 3 or 4 games, well, you got to do something.
Yeah, sure.
But pulling Matt Corral after one bad performance on the heels of 3 great ones, when, frankly, he's probably not the quarterback that's going to get you where you're trying to go, but he can run the offense that you're going to try to run to get to where you want to go, would be idiotic. And to do it, to go to a run-oriented guy who can't throw at all, and he can't throw at all, would be crazy. Why would you do that? I mean, give me one logical reason why you would do that. And the only thing is, and people say, don't lecture. I'm not lecturing. I'm telling you the way it is. There's this thing going into the season that Arkansas sucks. Well, guess what? They don't suck. Are they good? No, they're not a good football team, but they don't suck. They led Georgia in the third quarter. They beat Mississippi State. They were a blown call from beating Auburn, and they just beat Ole Miss. They don't suck. They're not the 2-10 Arkansas of a year ago.
They're a really sound football team. They're not talented at all.
Not at all.
They're pretty sound.
They're much better coached, and they're better at the quarterback position. So they're better. They've got a good back in Boyd, and they do some things. And today they played with a lot of confidence, and they still damn near lost the football game. But they made plays when they had to make them. And Ole Miss didn't. And that's why that game went the way that it did. And Matt was staring people down. They were playing zone. They didn't play man. Obviously, Barry Odom did what you knew Barry Odom would do, which was put together a plan based on – he went back and watched all of that film and said, you can't do this against this guy because he'll pick it apart. What can we do? And he probably found some things and tried some things, and it worked.
Look, I mean, Ole Miss lost the game just as much as Arkansas won the game. There's no doubt about that. You turned the ball over 7 freaking times. There's no doubt. Arkansas just didn't make enough mistakes, so they allowed you to give it to them when you played out that way. I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah.
The defense gained some confidence. There's no doubt about that.
No question.
They played pretty damn well because that's what they are. The way you saw it today, that's the way they're going to have to play defense. They're not going to go shut anybody down. But in the third quarter, they actually did. They got the ball back, ball after ball after ball after ball. They got it back.
No, they had a great second half.
They did a good job on third down in the second half for the most part until those last couple drives, and they did it very short-staffed. They were without a lot of dudes tonight. A lot of the mistakes that were made on defense were by guys who aren't typically playing that number of snaps.
Yeah. No, I thought they had an okay first half and a great second half. They kept them in the game when all those mistakes were happening. They kept them in the game. It didn't get ugly because they played pretty well on that side. And there were some moments where even Corral made a couple of really good plays where you thought, here they come, but he made mistakes. And he made mistakes at opportune times. And Odom had a good plan. Odom's a good coach. And you have to give credit sometimes to the other side when they hop a route, when they make a play over the top. Like, I can't remember number one's name for Arkansas, but Kiffin talked about that. He said that was just a really good defensive play. Wasn't a mistake. It was a good player making a good play, and that happens in this league. Like Kiffin said, interceptions are going to happen. The key thing for Corral moving forward is you got to learn from it. Got to learn from it. You got to adjust because now, like you said, I mean, Kevin Steele's a good defensive coordinator. He's going to watch this film. He's going to say, what did Odom do that gave them fits, and how can we replicate it and put a wrinkle on it?
And what happened a lot was, frankly, Ole Miss, and they were without Reese McIntyre. They were very short-staffed at offensive line today. But here's the deal. Arkansas did a ton with 5-man boxes and 3-man pressures all day long. They sat back. They kept everything over the front of them. Matt talked about that. He said they played over the top and sat there and didn't let you get anything down the middle of the field. I mean, I got this from our guy Sam on Twitter a minute ago. Arkansas had a 3-man push on defense 77 times and it led to 24 negative plays. Ole Miss had 24 negative plays off 3-man rushes for Arkansas today. That means you're not containing. You're not blocking up front. I mean, you're getting beat right there, either running the football, which they really until the second half did not really try to do consistently. They were trying to do a lot with the passing game side to side. Arkansas flowed the football really, really well tonight or this afternoon, and it didn't work. Arkansas took Kenny Yeboah away. They said they were just going to completely knock down the middle of the field, not let Yeboah run free. That was, frankly, he was the emphasis for Arkansas defensively. They were going to make sure Yeboah didn't stop them.
Pittman kind of gave that away a little bit on Monday when he really talked about Yeboah. And the other thing that happened today, Chase, not to interrupt you, was that after 3 weeks of basically not dropping a ball, we talked about this earlier in the week, at some point they're going to drop a ball. And this week they dropped a bunch of balls.
Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow exactly how many drops they had when Pro Football Focus does it. But I saw at least 3 or 4. Drummond had a very lazy route on one of the picks. There's no doubt about that. They didn't play very well at wide receiver. Yeboah only had 1 target because they didn't force anything to him in the middle of the field. He didn't have a catch. Essentially, Pittman allowed Elijah Moore to beat them underneath and then tackle. Don't let anybody get down the field and see if another wide receiver can step up. And today they didn't. Elijah Moore, 11 catches, 113 yards on 13 targets. He was great as he typically is.
Yeah, he's a great player.
But otherwise receiving, Connor had 3 catches. But other wide receivers, Mingo 2 for 31. Sanders 1 for 23, Drummond 1 for 14. That was it. That's all else they got other than Elijah Moore at the wide receiver position. So nobody else stepped up. They didn't get anything else done there. They had to hit a bunch of guys out of the backfield. I mean, Ely had a couple catches. Again, I mean, you had more receptions going to running backs than you did other wide receivers other than Elijah Moore in today's game. Means you got nothing down the field.
Yeah, they took it away.
Matt Corral finishes 20 of 38 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Ely did get over the century mark, 23 rushes for 112 and a score, averaging 4.9.
What'd Connor get?
Connor rushing today was 15 carries, 40 yards, averaging 2.7.
What was Arkansas's offensive totals?
Arkansas today, Felipe Franks, 21 of 34 for 244, 1-1. Receiving, Treylon Burks had a big day, 11 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown on 12 targets.
Yeah, good player.
And then rushing, Treylon Smith, 15 carries, 54 yards. Treylon Burks, 4 carries, 46 yards. And Arkansas as a team only averaged 3.1 yards per carry, 48 rushes, 150 yards. So really good job by your defense.
Monumental improvement.
So, I mean, Ole Miss was bad on third down. They had been a really good third down, fourth down team before today. They were bad on third down today. And they just couldn't, frankly, on first down, they couldn't stay on schedule at all. I thought first down offensively, even around all the turnovers, it's just where it went because they went side to side so much. They couldn't get downfield on first down to kind of stay on schedule whatsoever. And it bit them. There's no doubt about that.
Denver asked, is this going to hurt or help us in recruiting?
I don't know that it has any major impact.
I don't think it has any. I mean, look, you lose a little momentum as a program. That's about it. It's not going to affect you in recruiting. You're still telling kids you can play right away. They're not building for this year. I don't know that they're building for next year.
Ole Miss was 4 for 16 on third downs, and their average third down was 8 yards.
Yeah, that's his biggest stat as the turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 7.8 yards per third down, and they were 4 for 16 in those. They did not convert a third and long the entire day. It tells you how all 4 conversions were 1 to 4 yards. So did not, frankly, complete a pass on third down the field is what that tells you there. Yeah, looking at it. They got, let's see. Yeah, got sacked once. They ran the ball 9 times on third down for only 31 yards. Only got 2 first downs by rush. On third down all day.
What was Arkansas on third down?
6 of 17. Not a ton better.
No, not much better at all.
No, 35% versus 25%. So that's the game. Look, 7 turnovers.
To answer you, it's not going to impact recruiting. No, not at all. They're going to get out and they're going to recruit. And 1 and 3 in white pants. That's funny. They're. We're not ready for you just yet, Claude. I promise. We'll open it up, and I will do everything I can to get you first. What do you want to do? You want
to? What are we doing? I mean, you're running. You're on the board. I'm on the board, but I'm not the only decision maker here. You're not running the ship.
Not completely. Not all by myself. No.
I'm going to try the alcohol. I'm going to do that.
That's a good idea.
You want to try the alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take 5 minutes and try the alcohol. How about that?
I think right now that's a great idea.
Again, Whistle Pig. This carries a really big price tag, so it's got to be really, really good for me to recommend it to people. You're going to find this $350 to $400 secondary. I mean, not secondary. Sorry, retail. Secondary can get pretty crazy no matter what your situation is, because it even comes with this little. It comes in a decanter. These are individually machine made out of Vermont. I'm a rye guy, but again, I found some of the Whistle Pigs kind of.
I may have had this once before. Now that I think about it.
The 18 or the Whistle Pig in general?
The 18.
Yeah, I've had the 10, the 12, and the 15. I've never had the 18.
Clay McNutt was kind enough to invite me to hang out with him, he and his wife and their friends, and I think this was what he had purchased.
Okay.
Sometimes I just want to just freebase some, just stick it straight into a vein. This is probably not the... Is this a new person, Jamie Erdahl? Should I know her?
What is this?
This is this Alabama-Georgia game, yeah. I don't know that I know her. I'm sure she's been there. I just have not paid attention. Very smooth.
Could be.
Yeah.
A lot of almost.
I didn't taste a whole lot there, if you want to know the truth.
It's a really interesting rye because the front, I think, and I'll taste it in a second, but that nose is tons of almost like pine or something. There's lots of but not in a Christmas ale bad way, but almost kind of sappy. In
Christmas ale.
The Abita. Christmas tree down your tongue. Is all
the Abita Christmas ale.
Yeah, you literally went and got a cedar tree and just went up and down it. That was all that was. You get your traditional rye stuff on the palate. You're gonna get some of the cinnamon, some of the kind of tobacco almost. There's a really hard tobacco taste in that on the palate.
I get that more than I get cinnamon.
It's reversed off what most people would typically get out of a bourbon. So in a bourbon, especially around 90 proof, early on, for most that people like, you're gonna get a lot of vanilla, a lot of sweet, almost kind of fruit stuff on the beginning. And then it's going to hit you a little on the palate, whatever it is, and then it's going to give you burn on the end. This is almost kind of reversed. The longer that it goes,
the less it burns.
Sweeter.
Right. Yeah.
It actually goes the other way. It's going to hit you with some of that rye spice right there in the middle, kind of some baking spice kind of stuff, and then as it goes through, it's going to get kind of sweeter with vanilla.
Yeah.
Maybe a little butterscotch, something on the back end. So.
I think you nailed it.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Jake Sims says Abita Christmas Ale is the worst beer he's ever had. It is me too. I was stunned at how bad it was because I normally really like a lot of Abita products. And whoa.
It's so bad.
It was frighteningly bad. Like how the hell did that get out of the taste test? How did someone not taste that and go, come on, fellas, we can't do this?
Well, because look. Abita's
I even like their pecan ale.
Stuff. The pecan's fine.
It's fine.
Now, I'm a bigger fan of the Covington strawberry than the Abita strawberry.
Yeah.
But either way, it's fine. It's all right. I'm trying to think of a bad Abita, and there's really not. Just the normal Abita, I'm good with. It's a very good, just all-the-time beer.
Solid.
But Christmas ale, it's not even like it's this seasonal thing, too, where you go, oh, well, yeah, well, I mean, since it's Christmas, this has a flavor to it. No, you are licking a pine tree. It is the damnedest thing I've ever seen. So, anyway.
Here's Nick Saban, recovered from his bout with COVID.
Are they coming out now? I guess these are like Nike issued. Yeah, same thing. I'm just curious. Oh, I didn't know that Covington Brewery shut down. Really?
Did it really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm kind of like I don't drink beer. It's just not something I do. But
I do.
Covington strawberry I really like.
Almost every day. Tyler, thank you for the gift. Really appreciate it. He says, I know I need another drink. Here's one for you guys, so thanks. All right, do you want to do our weekly visit with Jeffrey for a minute, get his thoughts, and then we'll get into some calls?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Find it. We won't keep him long. I know he wants to watch this Alabama game too. Oh, there you are. Jeffrey?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good. Jeffrey Wright, 92.9 FM in Memphis, joins us now. We won't keep you long. I know you want to watch Alabama and Georgia. Just kind of your overall overarching thoughts on Ole Miss and Arkansas today.
Yeah, I think really what it boils down to is I'm sure everyone has thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatnot. The truth is, when we see Bud Elliott's blue chip ratio, that Arkansas roster has not been as bad as we have believed it to be because of what a disaster they were the last 2 years. They actually have more 4- and 5-star players on their roster than Ole Miss does. And really what it boiled down to was this is the first team that we've seen where they've been able to control the line of scrimmage with their front three. And they kind of had Barry Odom kind of had somewhat of like a Georgia-type game plan in which their big defensive linemen, they weren't trying to, create havoc, but they were just trying to muddy it up front, and they were able to basically cover 2 gaps each. And so when you had 3 guys doing that, it allowed you to drop 8 pretty easily, and we saw the same problems that KJ Costello had. We saw Matt Corral have them. And then, on top of that, Corral clearly started pressing. And I don't know, how many games have you ever covered, Neal, where a team loses the turnover battle by 4 and they don't win? Or they lose the turnover battle by 4 and they win.
I can say that I can never recall covering a team that or covering a game where one team had 7 turnovers and won.
Yeah, like I know Houston played Tulane a couple of weeks ago and they lost the turnover battle significantly, but I can't remember an SEC game where a team loses the turnover battle that badly and still wins. And
you know what's interesting, Jeffrey, is that both Kiffin and Corral talked very early in their Zoom about their inability to get the run going, that a lot of the plan was to get the running game going. When the running game didn't get going, the whole thing sort of broke down.
Well, and so that was going to be the other point that I had was when you could tell they felt like, quote unquote, get behind schedule. You're behind the chains and whatnot. And you could tell part of Ole Miss's success is dependent on having successful plays on first down because then they can run some tempo. They can run plays really quickly. They are very, very good at getting lined up very quickly, even in a different formation and getting you out of position and running another play. What I was saying with how Arkansas played them and able to kind of muddy it up front, because of that, you could see the running backs were very tentative in the holes. Like Snoop Connor was kind of trying to be patient. They were looking for a place to knife through, and then it never really developed. And so because they were behind schedule so much, it never allowed them to really get into tempo. And then you could tell, like, I understand if you are a college football fan, this is not meaning to point the finger at you. Like, I was that guy until probably I was 17 or 18 years old. But when you watch only college football, you can scheme quarterback play. And we saw tonight what happens when college football oftentimes becomes one-on-one. And when you've got one-on-one, it is very easy for a quarterback to make a read, decide that's the guy I'm throwing to, throw with confidence. But when you play a team like tonight with Arkansas, where they're able to get pressure without having to blitz, there's not pure one-on-ones. And so think how many times you saw safeties breaking on the ball and making plays for Corral. And those are situations where, anyone that's ever played quarterback remembers the first time they ever saw cover two and they looked out wide to the wide side and they're like, oh, yeah, sweet, I've just got a go route. I'm just going to throw it up to my guy. And then all of a sudden you see a safety out of nowhere pick it off. Like that, it was a similar type reaction from Corral. And I just think that's what, I don't know how many other teams are going to be able to do that to Ole Miss. And I know everyone's going to think, oh, well, now the game plan's out on them. I think really what we learned today was that Arkansas roster is not that bad. And some of the results that we've been seeing from Arkansas, it's not flukish. It's not them playing hard. I think they're just a better team than we thought they were.
See, I agree with some of that. I agree with a lot of that. I don't think Arkansas is a great team. I don't think they're a particularly good team, but I think they have the ability to be a very average team, and it's a new coach, and teams play hard with new coaches. And,
and they upgraded their scheme on offense, and they upgraded their scheme on defense.
And they upgraded their quarterback. They went from an unusable quarterback to a serviceable game manager.
They went from a kid that was not even successful in the American to a kid that, while he is flawed in Felipe Franks, he's won some big games for Florida.
He was a four-star kid coming out of high school. A lot of people recruited Felipe Franks. Lane Kiffin talked about it earlier this week. He's okay, and there was a couple of plays, and I can't remember when now. I'd have to go back and watch. He made a couple of plays in spots where they really needed a play made.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, you think about he made some really hard runs, and I thought a big play was Ole Miss had just made it 20-14, and I think it was 3rd and 5, and they run a sprint out to the right. It's not a complicated pass concept. It's you run a guy on the out, and you run a guy to the corner, or if they're in two, you run a guy running a post corner and a guy running a hitch and whatnot. But he made a money throw. And, that's the difference between a Felipe Franks and a Ben Hicks. Felipe Franks can make that play. Ben Hicks probably can't make that play. It doesn't excuse anything that Ole Miss did today, but in reality, I mean, you look at it, yards per play, Ole Miss was 4.9, Arkansas is 4.8. It really just boils down to one team turned it over 6 times and the other turned it over 2.
Not going to keep you but a couple more minutes. Lane Kiffin said after the game he's sticking with Matt Corral. Never even thought about making a change. Said, hey, he's the same guy that was one of the best quarterbacks in the country for the first three weeks of the season. You agree with that decision?
I think you have to. You were on this last year, and while maybe the first few games this year have not really played out, but think how beneficial that was last year when Auburn and Gus Malzahn made the decision to keep sticking with Bo Nix, even when things started going a little south. They just decided we're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it. And he played some pretty good football down the stretch. And he's not a perfect quarterback. And I don't think if John Rice Plumlee came in today that we see a different result. Like in the end, part of the reason they were able to get back into the game is that Corral was able to make some throws that, he made some throws that got them back into the game. And, I know everyone wants to point to Plumlee's running ability, but show me where he's been consistently effective against an average or better than average team when the game was still undecided. And that's not to say he'll never be that, but I've never seen it. And, it's just like with Jarrett Garantano today in Tennessee. Everyone's like, this guy stinks. And, in the end, coaches are not playing a kid at quarterback because they don't want to play someone else. Like, in the end, that's their best chance to win. And, no one was complaining for the first 3 games.
Alabama and Georgia have exchanged turnovers
in the first
52 seconds of the game. Yeah, you just never know. Well, hey, go enjoy the game. Really appreciate your time. I'll get you on. We'll get you on sometime this week to talk about Ole Miss and Auburn and some of the other games. So go enjoy this one. I know you've looked forward to it.
All right, guys. I'm going to grill steak.
All right, man. Bye.
Later.
All right.
That's Jeffrey Wright. Our thanks to him. Put something in my glass. I just feel the need. I get this sense that people are saying that I'm comparing Arkansas to the 85 Bears. I'm not. I'm just saying I don't think they're quite as bad as some people are making them out to be. Game 7 of the National League Championship Series will be held tomorrow. The Dodgers and the Braves
So Game 7's in both of them.
Taking it to the distance. Game 7 of the American League Championship Series begins right about now.
Anderson against whom tomorrow? Because it had been who came in and pitched for Kershaw in the scratch. I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
You know what's coming is another Clayton Kershaw October performance where he gets just.
Do you want them to win one simply because they're the best team over a certain number of years?
No.
Do you want to reward that?
I mean,
we're not going to talk baseball.
No, sometimes I'd like for people to realize how hard it is. God, that was a throw. God, Mac Jones is so good.
Tide strikes first, somewhere around a 50-yard touchdown, I guess, something like that. I don't know.
Big-time throw.
It was a big throw.
All right, let's see. We're going to open up the phones. I'll put the number up. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. The number is up right there. Hey, don't forget real quick while I'm thinking about it, there is a special if you're not a subscriber to rebelgrove.com. Now would be a great time today through the end of the day tomorrow. You can subscribe to rebelgrove.com, get your first year for $12.
$12.
$12. You can take my ULM math, and that's $1 a month.
We're losing money letting you on. We're
Yes.
the processing fees are more than you're getting charged for that.
Yes. Are we trying to get Bubba first? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, you want to do that?
I mean, I can
You
try.
wanna
But
Bubba now?
I think he's right here.
You can take my ULM math. And that's
Bubba,
$1 a month.
how are you?
Hey, boys. How y'all doing tonight?
Bubba, we are good. How are you?
Tried to call you last week, but couldn't get in. So I appreciate y'all taking my call first.
You're
Sitting
welcome.
here with my granddaughter and the dogs.
What's your granddaughter's name?
Oh,
MK.
so her name, Mary Catherine.
Hey, Mary
So
Catherine.
she got
Hello.
You excited about Halloween?
Yes, sir.
What are you going to dress up as?
A chicken.
A chicken.
Okay.
Okay.
so that's what she wants to do. She's here from Alabama tonight. So she's just sitting here and she's watching the game. She likes the Tide a little bit, but tell you what, old Corral, they passed for 5 TDs, but too bad 2 of them was not for us. That boy was colorblind.
It's good. It's possible that he's developed some color blindness. I didn't think about it that way, but the explanation might be that simple. He might just not be able to see the difference between white and red.
Yep, but we just wanted to give you boys a call. I tried to call Daddy about 10 times.
I bet.
He won't answer the phone.
I'm
Tennessee
sure he
is
won't.
not back.
They're not back. Well, they're back. They're back to being what they've been for the last several years.
Yep. So, but anyway, we just wanted to give you a call. Mary Catherine's just sitting here, and we're just kind of hanging out. She's sitting here with Miller.
Okay.
And you want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, Mary
Yep,
Catherine.
so, all right.
All right.
Well, you boys have a good night.
Thanks,
for
Bubba.
taking my call, and hopefully we do better next week.
We'll see. 11 a.m. for that one, Bubba. We'll talk to you then.
All right.
There were people in the thread who were questioning the veracity or the authenticity of Mary Catherine there. They thought they
believe that?
They thought they sensed a voice change. I don't know what the hell I believe at this point. Who do we have?
A construction vehicle.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, it's Jarrett coming to you from lovely Camp Shelby, Mississippi.
It's kind of late for the garbage truck to be coming through, isn't it? What we got going on there?
That is a Hemet wrecker. Actually, it's a fueler. I'm sorry. It's a big army truck.
Okay, fair enough. Can you tell him to cut it off? You're on the phone with hand raised guys.
I'm gonna walk away from it. How about that?
Okay.
So guys, obviously, really disappointing this evening. So, couple of questions. So one, Neal and Chase, could you give me your quick, the sky is falling, this is the worst thing ever to happen take, your quick sunshine pumper take, and then your just, rational person take in the context of what does this look like for, like, how damaging is something like this to the program going forward?
It's not.
And/or
it's just not.
Sorry.
It's not. It's a football game. It's the fourth game of the season in a crazy 10-game conference-only COVID year where everybody gets a free year of eligibility, and nobody. If you're making rash judgments on one game in that year, that's. To pretend that the program is as bad as it is at this moment in some people's eyes would be the same literally as looking at last week and going, hey, we were 6 minutes away from beating Alabama. We're 6 minutes away from Alabama. No, you're not. You got a long way to go to catch Alabama. On the other hand, it's one of 4 games. You couldn't expect that offense to be that efficient week in and week out. Unfortunately, fortunately, the defense was much better. And so now you've got to figure out a way, like Lane Kiffin said, to put it together. Simple as that. And then you have to look on the other side and you have to say, whether people want to do this or not, the other team's trying to win too, and they've played pretty well this year, and they're starting to play with some confidence. And today, Ole Miss didn't do some things early, and Ole Miss made some mistakes, and it fed that confidence. And at the end of the day, like what was his number 19, the kid that made the touchdown catch? Remember who I'm talking about?
It was number 9, maybe.
The kid for Arkansas that made that one-handed catch where he got a foot in.
Yeah, I know the one you're
talking about. Sometimes you got to give a little credit, man, and they made a play right there. You know what I mean? They made a play there. When Ole Miss had the ball at the 1, they couldn't make a play. I mean, sometimes it's that simple. There's not a hell of a – I mean, Chase was going through the stats. There's not a lot of statistical difference between the two teams other than the turnovers, and one team made some plays. And if that's –
yeah, that's fair.
I'm just saying if that's sunshine pumping, well, then I don't know what that means. I mean, I just don't think tonight's the end of the world. I really don't.
That's fair. It's maybe the same question a different way. Does it change your opinion on the win total for this season, regardless of whether or not how much that really matters?
Yeah,
like in the grand scheme of things.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you thought that 7 was the max, you now think 6 is the max. Look, I don't think Ole Miss can beat Texas A&M based on what I've seen so far. But of the games that are remaining, that's the only game that I look at it and go, there's no way Ole Miss can win that game. Now, on the flip side, can Ole Miss lose to Auburn? Yes. Can Ole Miss lose to South Carolina? Yes. Can Ole Miss lose to
They have 1 to 5 winnable games left if you take A&M out.
Today, if you said – gun to your head, who do you think Ole Miss will definitely beat who's left on the schedule? I'd say Vanderbilt and Mississippi State. I think they win those 2 games. And if you put a gun to my head and said, who do you think Ole Miss will definitely lose to, I'd say Texas A&M. So that takes 3 of the remaining 6 games out. So there's 3 games remaining that I guess it's Auburn, South Carolina, and LSU that I'd be like, they could win them. They could lose them.
Yeah. So you're looking at between 3 and 7 and 6 and 4. Then basically,
yeah. And
that's fair.
2 years from now, it won't matter.
That's true. So let's see. So the one thing that did kind of concern me, I guess, was it seemed like Matt Corral went back to first start Memphis Matt Corral, like kind of deer in the headlights, trying to do too much,
a little bit,
making bad decisions.
Yep.
I think they showed it the stat on the broadcast that the last time we got shut out in a half was that game. So I guess that was what was a little alarming to me. It's like, okay, so you're kind of regressed back to where you were last year. So
it's
I'm sorry, Chase. Go ahead.
Yeah, no big deal. He's earned the benefit of the doubt through 3 games before today to see if it's something that carries over or if it was just one of those games and the way he was schemed and then he ends up snapping out of it. I mean, it's one of the had it been the season opener, I think you're more likely to go, hell, this looks like Matt Corral last year. This is what it is. This is whatever. But it's not like Alabama didn't scheme him. It's not like Kentucky didn't scheme him off the Florida game. It's not like they didn't know what he looked like last year. So I do think that this becomes a 3-week examination, with this being week 1 as much as anything else. I do think that as you kind of move forward.
Yeah. Okay, so final thing. So a buddy of mine from law school texted me during the game and said if the Braves win tonight or tomorrow, he's buying me and 3 of my buddies, including him, World Series tickets, and we're going. So Am I going to get to go to the World Series for free next week? Your opinion?
No.
Who's pitching for the Dodgers tomorrow?
I have no clue.
I don't know. I know Anderson's going to go for the Braves, right?
Yeah, he's a stud now.
Yeah, he's good. That's pressure. A rookie, Game 7 in LCS.
I'd rather have the rookie than I would Clayton Kershaw.
There's a hot take.
I would, because Clayton Kershaw, it's in his
Neal
head.
with the oven mitts.
It's in his head right now.
You think so?
Let me tell you this. In 2016, the Cubs played in the World Series. They were loose and they won. From that point forward, even though they'd won, they've played like a team that had all this pressure on them. I just sometimes rather have the team that doesn't seem to give much of a damn.
Yeah, the Braves are still in an ultimate free shot window. So
sure,
I mean, it's
yeah.
Anderson's a stud.
I will say, going into the series, I was like, "Oh man, we're playing with house money. It's cool." And now it's not. It's not
when
the
you're
case
up
3-1,
it no longer becomes that way. They played themselves into that thought.
Hey, thank you for the call.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Brother,
Hey, who do we have?
Oh, this is Spencer from
Spencer from who?
Forest.
Hey, Spencer.
Hey, Zach from Forest called in last week and asked y'all about the Alabama game. And y'all had no idea what to talk about because y'all been talking about it, don't you?
We're talking about who?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Y'all remember him?
Sort of. We talked to a lot of people over the course of the week.
It's been a week, man. I can't tell you that I remember that show.
Well, I'm his brother. And I laughed my ass off when he called in last week.
So what'd you think?
Oh, it was a bad day.
Just a bad day? It's not the program being wrecked in front of our eyes? Just a bad day?
Say that one more time.
I said it's just a bad day. The program's not being wrecked before our eyes. Time to fire everybody or anything? All good?
No, it's a bad day. I think
Did you hang up?
I did not hang up. He hung up.
Oh.
Jeffrey's asking me if he's still on the call. I hung up on Jeffrey a while ago. I'm sorry.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making sure.
All right.
That scared me a little. Hey, who do we have?
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
This is Clayton from Seattle.
Hey, Clayton, what's up, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good.
Good. Love to hear it. Listen, I know it's a tough thing to bet, and been listening to you guys and understanding that, Chase just said it's a 3-week examination for Matt Corral. But if you guys were betting on it, and I know it's very hard to do, but if you had to bet on it, does Matt Corral kind of snap out of it and bounce back next week, or do we see a little bit more of the same?
Yeah.
I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Clayton.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's not going to go throw 6 picks next week. I don't think he throws 3 picks next week. I think that He will. He'll figure it out. I think that Lane showing confidence in him was the best thing in the world for Matt Corral next week. I think you would have potentially run the risk of losing Matt, depending on how you handle that a little bit today.
Yes.
And I think that, look, is he 100% as good as he looked over 3 weeks? Probably not. But is he this bad? Sure as hell not either.
He ain't 20% as good as he looks.
How's the Pirate? Was he as good as he looked today?
Hey, Ed.
I'm going to tell y'all something. Watching you two chumps sit up there drinking your own damn Kool-Aid is pretty damn funny tonight. You know what? I'm kind of happy.
I'm drinking $400 rye. I don't know what you're drinking.
Watching y'all be Lane Kiffin's biggest damn cheerleader. And you know what? The dumber y'all look, the smarter I look.
Because
he got his ass whooped, Chase. Let me ask you, Chase, do you sniff your own farts? Because you sure are drinking your own Kool-Aid.
What else do you like around the league today?
So you didn't answer that question, do you, or do you not?
Yeah, Chase, let me ask you something.
All right.
Do they have a hint of oak to them? Let me ask you something. You boys sit back there talking about how good this boy is. Let me tell you something. He sits there looking all pretty, and he loses ass. And I'll tell you something about Matt Corral. He did a damn good job almost setting the interception record. Y'all reckon that's what he was trying to do? Because I did. I thought some bitch doing good. He's going to set a damn record tonight.
He doesn't even have the lead inside the state.
Yeah.
Well, he sure is trying to make up for that tonight now, wasn't he, Chase?
He threw 5 touchdown passes. I don't know what everybody's upset about.
He did throw
5
5
touchdown passes and about 12 interceptions. Is that what I recall? Was it 12 or 13? I don't even remember now. I lost count.
Well,
I tell you what, I only went through like 8th grade, so I don't know how high I can count.
It was 6.
6. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He looked damn good. Let me ask you something. You reckon the other team was wearing camouflage? I tell you, I wanted to say was just back there in the woods, popping out of nowhere. It was weird because I saw him throwing passes, and I thought, that some bitches ain't right for him. I tell you what, he's duck hunting. He'd have hit his limit real quick.
If he was duck hunting, he would have hit his limit real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick.
What'd you think?
Let me ask y'all something. Y'all still big on the Lane train now after tonight? Because I'm calling for his head. I tell you what, now it's time to fire that some bitch. Get your Hugh Freeze back.
Yeah. Well, Ed, I don't think you could afford to make that move right now. Financially, it just would make no sense.
Do you think Hugh's going to be the next coach at Tennessee?
Yeah. Do you think Hugh's going to get the Tennessee job, Ed?
He sure as hell. Let me tell you something. He gets it. I'm going to be the biggest Tennessee fan there ever was because he's going to win every damn game.
You know what? He'll be able to tell the story about he and Jill when they first got married. They were actually in Knoxville. I guess they were going to Pigeon Forge or something, and they went to Knoxville and stood outside of Neal Stadium, and he told her he was going to be a SEC head coach one day. And he could talk about it.
By God, he was right, too, wasn't he?
I mean, Neal put him in his top 25 last week.
Yeah,
Liberty,
the Flames. They win today?
Damn, Liberty's damn good. I'm telling you, y'all make fun of Liberty. Liberty whoop Ole Miss's ass right now.
So you think Liberty would beat Ole Miss right now?
Easy. Damn easy.
They play next year?
Really?
Yeah, they're on schedule next year. That'll be
let me ask y'all something about Matt Corral.
All right.
Y'all think tattoos equals touchdowns or no?
No, I don't.
Seems like now y'all all know better.
I don't think the tattoos matter, Ed, at all. I don't think that's part of the deal.
I tell y'all something. I'm looking real good because I called this shit before the season starts. I said that pretty boy's gonna sit up there at the sideline and lose every damn game, and he's almost there.
So what do you?
We celebrated Kentucky like it was the next day's next godsend, and here they are now losing. They just lost to Alabama, and everybody said, oh, they played Alabama close. I knew they was gonna lose. I called it.
Well, you're a hell of a psychic there.
You are. I tell you what,
I'm impressed.
Ed, I'm impressed because nobody else saw a lost Alabama coming.
Will you be our guest picker on Thursday? Yeah. Will you help us out?
Hell yeah, y'all get me on the show.
All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to get you.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. Your fans going to be listening to me before they do you knuckleheads. That's going to happen.
I'll tell you what.
You put the asses in the seats, Ed.
Ed, we will get you on the show Thursday night. We'll let you pick all the SEC games with us, so be prepared.
I'll pick every damn one of them. You'll see I'll win, too. Y'all don't understand. Y'all think, oh, what the hell's Ed know? Ed don't know the shit. Ed don't know shit. Whatever.
Okay.
Ed,
All right,
let me tell you something.
I'm
Ed
bored
called
with you
this
now.
All right,
shit,
Ed.
didn't he?
Have a good night.
Have a good night, Ed. Tell Arlene we said hello.
I tell.
That was Ed. A lot of people wanting to talk to you since the phones are ringing wild. Turn your. There you go. Who do we have here?
We got Joey Freshwater, South Florida, Jupiter.
What's up, Joey?
Nothing much. You know, I feel like people have been giving Corral a little bit of a hard time. Still young. It's a bad game. You know, great defense coordinator on that other side. What do you guys think about that defense coordinator?
Oh, I think Barry Odom's terrific at what he does. There's no question about that. And you know, we talked all week about how he would have a good plan, and he had a good plan.
He did. So, Neal, football gods come down.
Okay.
Chase, I'd like to hear your opinion as well.
Sure.
Your defense from here on out averages 6 stops, and you win the key turnover battle in the 3 games you guys just discussed as being toss-ups.
Yeah.
What would you put the record at?
In those 3 games?
Yes, those 3 games. 6 stops, and you win the turnover battle by 1 or 2.
No worse than 2-1, maybe even 3-0. I think those are all close games, and yeah, it'll come down to those 2 things: who can make a stop, and who can make a play, and who can not turn the ball over. Sure, it's a good point.
All right,
yeah.
Chase, do you have 2-1?
6 stops, win the turnover battle.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that case, sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think Matt fixes it. I tell you what, though, my concern with Ole Miss is an offense, and I'm not really dodging the question because, yeah, I think I agree overall. I still think they've got to have a consistent number 2 receiver step up. Things were still bogged down today because some of this, even though, look, I get the turnovers and stuff, you're going to beat Arkansas, but Arkansas is not a good football team. I mean, let's not, like you said, let's keep it in context of what Arkansas is. To beat some of the teams that's more talented, they're going to have to get a little more production. If they're going to take Yeboah away, and that's what other people key on as well, you're going to have Drummond or Mingo step up, run crisp routes, catchable throws,
and you can't lose the football. And you can't lose the line of scrimmage for a half of the game the way that Ole Miss
There are
did today.
some of those things that I think just have to improve as this thing moves along. Because one of those picks was absolutely just a lazy route by Drummond in some ways. They had at least 3 catchable balls that didn't get caught. There were some issues there on offense beyond simply the turnovers if you're trying to beat a team not named Arkansas or Vanderbilt.
Okay, I've got one last question, then I'll let you guys go.
Okay, Joey.
It feels like we're forcing it to Drummond and to Mingo, and you know Sanders has been kind of steady for a long time for us, and then we also have Dennis, and I haven't seen much. Maybe he's got bricks for hands like Mingo, but you know, is there a reason why we're forcing it, or do you think other guys might step up? And then I'll let you guys go, and I'll listen in. Thank you.
I think they have hope for Dennis. Obviously, he's not showing them something to this point to get either in the rotation or to get Corral's eye. I don't know. You know, it's what we don't know, and I don't know the answer to this, Neal, is we don't really know what all the pre-snap areas are because Lane does so much decision-making for quarterbacks that we don't necessarily know what options are actually viable options at the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Like, you're obviously going to look for Elijah, you're going to look for Yeboah depending on coverage, but I don't know how far down the progressions it gets before there's a safety valve there that you go to.
Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, guys, what's up? It's Archie Manning here. No, I'm just kidding. It's Daniel from South Haven.
Yeah, thanks.
I just wanted to call in. All this, talk about, I see all over, obviously Twitter's like hyperbolic, but I've seen all night, why didn't we play John Rice and all that stuff. Don't you think if we were down like 30 points or 21 points, 28 points, something like that, we would have played Plumlee just to get Corral off the field? But I feel like we kept Corral because we were in the game. I mean, he had 6 turnovers, but we were driving to take the lead with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
See, here's the thing. This was Matt Corral's 7th college start. It's his 7th college start. He's still a young quarterback. This is a season that doesn't count against him. So he could technically
He could be a third-year freshman if he wanted to.
He could. Next year he could just be a sophomore, right?
He'd be a freshman.
We had the redshirt freshman year and then the freshman year.
Oh, well, yeah.
So he'd be a fourth-year sophomore.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So he still has 3 years he can play. I mean, if you pull the plug on him today and don't let him – here's the key thing for Corral will be not what happened tonight, but what he takes from tonight, how he adjusts to tonight. How does he show up for practice on Monday? What kind of a week does he have this week? What does he do next week? He's not the first young quarterback to have a horrific game.
Oh, I agree. And I think, a lot of teams, after they throw 3 or 4 picks like State did, they pull their quarterback. If they had kept in Costello last week, he might have thrown 10 interceptions.
And Lane said that tonight. He said most coaches would have made a change, but he didn't for a reason. And look, one reason is you don't want Matt Corral to give up on himself. The second reason, and I've repeated this, and it's worth repeating, is that you can't recruit in person right now. The only thing you can use as an actual recruiting tool is the game. So do you want Luke Altmaier, Arch Manning, Ty Simpson thinking, hey, man, as soon as I have a bad game, I'm gone. That's it. I win the job. I have 3 really good games. Then I have 1 bad game, and I get benched.
Well, even beyond that, you're also going, hey, you have to coach a player. And this is something we don't know the answer to.
Daniel.
And this isn't a cop-out. This isn't a cop-out to support Lane or anything else, whatever. You also have to know your kid. Look, there's a lot of – this is like pitchers, and do you yell at them, you do whatever. There's probably some players where you go, hey, come sit with me for a minute.
Yeah.
Second team guy, go in. Let's watch it together. Let's look at this. And there's some guys where you go, no, I've got to sit there and do this and do this and do this. They're not robots. Every one of them handles difficulty in different ways. And, Lane is doing – his decision, right or wrong, or whether you agree with it or not, is about a season and a program and not a game. He was trying to win the game, and Matt got the ball back and a chance to win the game. But he wanted to run a certain kind of offense, and he's doing that for his season and his program as much as he was tonight. He would sacrifice today to have a quality improvement in his season and his program.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Hey, who do we have?
Howdy. Is it all right if I read a quick fairy tale for you guys? It's related to tonight, so don't worry.
What's your name?
Murphy.
Hey, Murphy.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Bated breath.
Okay. Once upon a time, 4 years ago, there was a group of Powder Blue Knights. These Powder Blue Knights were led by Sir Frost. Sir Frost spent too much time recruiting 5-star defensive knights from faraway lands like California. Sir Frost neglected to recruit good replacements to keep the castle safe. Sir Frost tried to exorcise demons out of one of the White Knights, investigating his company of knights. Sir Frost also spent too much time finding a happily ever after. Sir Frost was let go. Sir Pat was hired in place after a dramatic victory over the Hellhounds. Sir Pat couldn't recruit because of a group of White Knights were watching his every move as head knight. The moral of the story is the Powder Blue Knights should not be judged by who is in charge now. They should place the majority of blame on Sir Frost for the lack of recruiting and Sir Pat for not being able to recruit as well.
Thanks.
You guys like that story?
I think I've read that book before, just with some different names. But thanks for the call there, Murph. Appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one.
Just never know what you're going to get.
It's a veritable box of chocolate.
It is. Good point, Forrest. Who do we have?
Hello?
Hey, who's this?
You got Lynn from Madison.
Hello, Lynn. How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
We're just kind of hanging after the ball game and chilling out.
Yeah? What'd you think?
I was kind of disappointed. Here's my question for y'all.
Okay.
Was John Rice even there? We never saw him on the field, or is he one of those COVID victims?
No, he was there.
He was there. He
They
came
showed
out,
him several times.
Yeah, he even when the last couple minutes, I saw him with a helmet on when Lane called multiple the quarterbacks and the reserves out on the field before the starters went out.
Because I was wondering, was that why we didn't see anybody else out there after the 4 or 5 interceptions?
It was one of those deals where, like Chase was just saying, there do come nights, days, whatever, where the season and the program, and in this case it's the program, is bigger than the game. And that's where we are right now. And
I understand that, and I know we'll come around, but I just try something else. We got some other quarterbacks. Why are we just
I don't know
cratering it?
But I don't know that you do. That's the thing. I don't know that in Lane Kiffin's mind you do.
They say right, wrong, or indifferent. I think he played Matt Corral at any point, even after the picks, because he thought he gave him the best chance to win the football game. That was
and
the
he could
offense.
have, right at the very end. Yeah, he was right in there until we threw another one. Yeah.
See, I'll change the word best to only. He was the he was the only chance to win the football game. I don't. Number one, I don't think Lane Kiffin wants to have a quarterback controversy. Number two, I don't think Lane Kiffin wants to run an offense that is built around a running quarterback when he's out trying to recruit some of the top passing quarterbacks in the country.
And I agree with that.
Number three, I don't think Lane Kiffin, if you were to get heart of hearts, all honesty, look, he wants to win. He's competitive, but I don't think Lane Kiffin's going to spend a lot of time worrying about wins and losses in 2020. I think Lane Kiffin's a lot more worried about wins and losses in 2022 and 2023. And I think he's.
And I agree with you on that, because it's it's kind of like you watch the game, you're like, you hope you win, but you're like, yeah, this is kind of a write-off.
Yeah, it's
a write-off year.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, even if you win today, if you're Ole Miss, this isn't a championship team, right? You're not going to the championship game. No one even knows if we're going to have bowl games. And if you do have a bowl game, it's going to be the Liberty Bowl begging and pleading for you to come. So I just don't think it matters as much as in the heat of the moment when you're watching a game and you want your team to win and all of those things. And I get all of that. I do. I'm not belittling it. It keeps me in business. But in the whole scheme of things, I just don't think it matters that much. What matters really is what your program's doing on the recruiting trail. Would tonight a win have helped maintain a little bit of momentum? Sure. Absolutely. Would that have been a good thing? Absolutely. Did you lose anything from it? No, any more than let's take it from the other perspective, okay? Arkansas's now had kind of 3 pretty good weeks in a row. They beat Mississippi State, they should have beaten Auburn, and they beat Ole Miss. Does that mean that all the top kids in the country are clamoring to go to Fayetteville right now? The answer is no.
No.
And so both extremes are crazy. Was tonight a good win for Sam Pittman in Arkansas? Absolutely. Does it give them a little bit of momentum? Yes. Does it help them with some of the calls they'll make to recruits? Sure. Does it swing the pendulum in such a way that a kid who was not going to go to Arkansas suddenly goes to Arkansas? No. So in the end, it's one game. One team made more mistakes than the other, and that team lost, which is kind of par for the course.
And and as far as Ole Miss is concerned, we played the big ones good, and then we're flat the next week. So I kind of expected us to be flat, not quite this flat, but
Yeah, well,
we're always flat.
Ole Miss is not the first team in history to play Alabama one week and not look so good the next. I mean, that's been a little bit of a trend for the last decade.
Right. So, all right, good deal.
Thank you, Lynn. Good talking to you.
We watch you all the time.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. We need to call Nick. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Alabama's still up 7-0 here. 2:29 to go first quarter. And,
see if I have that right here where I can get to it. I think I'm good. Yep.
Asking the chat, how does Mike Bianco react to losing a player due to football reasons? Because it create a problem? No, not whatsoever. Their own scholarship, they're all free for baseball, and nobody's losing anybody. They'll get a chance to play in the spring.
Nick's not. It's not letting me call him with FaceTime audio, so I'll try him on the Skype.
Okay.
Can you text me that number so I can look? Wait, never mind. I can do it with my phone.
Georgia's not had much offensive traction until now.
No,
a little bit.
Imagine that.
First and goal now for the Bulldogs.
Imagine that. You play with a quarterback like that, and as good of a story as he is,
And he is a good story.
He's a great story.
Touchdown, Georgia, 7-7.
Oh, there you go.
Sounds like Atari.
It does sound like Atari.
If you could do them really fast, it'd be like a Sega Genesis theme song.
He knows the crossbar. That's the thousands of people that are trying to call in right now.
Is it really?
Yes.
Off then,
it'd just be, you just don't know.
It's coming in that hard?
Yeah. I mean, just.
Your call has.
Okay.
We'll just take some calls here.
Okay.
Hey, who do we have? Hello, who's this?
Hey, boys, this is Spencer. How are y'all doing?
Spencer, how are you? Good to hear from you.
Y'all look so cute tonight. I was just going to tell y'all that. Y'all both look so handsome. Y'all really do.
Well, thank you, Spencer. That's very nice of you to say.
What's that? What y'all say?
I just said that's very nice of you to say. It's always nice to get a compliment.
You are so welcome. Listen, I watched the game, and I know the boys lost, but I saw how hard they played.
Mm-hmm.
And I have heard so many people be so critical, and I just think that's what's wrong with Ole Miss sports. What matters is the fact that those boys tried so hard, and you could tell they tried so hard. And I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm just going to be honest, and this is probably inappropriate, but my God, that Matt Corral is a beautiful thing. I know they said he threw the ball to the other team or whatever he did tonight, but my God, he was gorgeous doing it. So that counts for something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it counts that Matt's a handsome young man. I think that probably means a lot to his mother and a lot of people. Sure, I don't know that it means a whole lot with his final stat line, but yeah, he's.
Well, I think it means something for the university that we recruit handsome young men to play on our team, and I think that matters.
Sure,
you lose, but you look good doing it, and that's something that matters.
Let me ask you this, Spencer. Spencer, let me ask you this. There's quite a controversy among some about Ole Miss's uniforms. What did you think of the white top on the white pant with the powder blue helmet? Do you like that better than the?
I like it, but I'm almost giving up hope because I have told y'all time and time again, tell that fashion coordinator over there, get them a sash, get them something that pops. And I noticed that. Listen, I think, I tell you, nobody looks better in that uniform than that. It hugs every. It hugs in all the right places.
It does. Okay, that's good.
But
when you say a sash, what exactly do you mean? Because a football team would not want to wear a sash because you could grab the sash. It would be something else that would be tackleable. You would want you want something.
Well, here's what you can do. So I thought about that. You pin it to your side. The sash hangs. It hangs down maybe to the left or whatever, but you pin it to the uniform. It's like a safety pin. You pin it, and my God.
I don't think you want to do that.
They would look so cute doing that. They would look so good.
So what do you like the white pants more than the gray pants, Spencer?
Well, gray is so dull to me, and what I have noticed about the linemen, and I have noticed one in particular, and I'll tell you about that in a second, that their uniforms, the tops are too small, so that make it just not slimming. But if you look at Matt, my God, he looks so good, and I think the way it fits him. They all ought to look at the way it fits him and just model after that.
Where is Jorge right now? Because Jorge might not appreciate you talking about Matt like this.
Oh, he's passed out drunk. He started drinking tequila at noon today. He got the drunk. I don't care what he thinks, and he knows when I look at least I think he knows. When I watch these games, I'm watching for one reason. I want to watch Matt Corral squat. My God.
Okay. What are you? Are you watching this Alabama-Georgia game right now, Spencer?
I'm not watching it, but I will. Is there something there worth watching?
It's two really good teams. Yeah, two of the best 3 teams in the country, according to all the pollsters.
What are they wearing?
Alabama's wearing its traditional crimson on the white pant, and Georgia is wearing its traditional road uniform, the white jersey with kind of a silver. They wear the silver breeches, not gray, but silver.
Oh, I bet that looks really good. I bet that pops. Are they
you know if they sparkle? Is it like
it does not appear that either team has a. It does not appear that either team has a sparkle going on with their uniforms.
I could do so much with this sport. I could really impact it. I really could. I could make a difference. Now I'm going to tell you something else.
Okay.
That center. What's the Ole Miss center?
His name is Ben Brown. Ben
Brown.
With
Matt Corral up under.
Right, Ben Brown. Be careful, Spencer. We almost got in trouble last week for some of this, and we want.
I'm just going to tell you, Ben Brown's got the best job in the business.
Okay.
My God.
Yes. Hey, okay.
He has the best job in the business. If I were going to play football, that's who I would be, is Ben Brown.
Okay.
He is one lucky SOB.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
Spencer, listen, take care. I hope Jorge feels okay in the morning.
Oh, you boys take care. It's so good talking to y'all.
You too, Spencer. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, Neal, this is Joe from Memphis by way of Newport, Rhode Island, currently where I'm at. How are you doing tonight?
You wearing a mask right now?
Yeah, no, I get you. Enjoy. I had to mute the end of Spencer there, so
yeah.
Just in case you actually did pick up.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all, everything y'all have been doing. So first off, I just got to know, what do you think with regards to Ben Brown? At some point, I mean, with all the snaps that we're having issues, I know he's not a center, but at some point we got to be replacing him, right?
Yeah, I don't think you have another choice.
No,
I mean, because he can't handle anything. I mean, I get you could move him back to guard, and he's going to be good wherever you put him, but there's not another center there, frankly. I mean, if he got hurt, I don't know what in the hell they would do.
Yeah, no.
No,
I mean, nobody else that can play center is even in the rotation.
It feels like every game we seem to have an issue with the snap, and it's just one of those. At some point, it's like, what do you do? How do you fix this?
I think it's just learning curve. Let him get reps. Let him get reps so that he's ready when you play more meaningful games.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you all trying to keep everybody under control, because really at the end of the day, it's basically, hey, look, 2020. It's a wash. You know, this is Kiffin's first team. Hey, look, Luke, you can say what you want about Luke, but, you know, he did what he could, but he couldn't recruit for nothing for defense. And bottom line is we're paying the price for the NCAA and freeze and all that. So really at the end of the day, it's just basically, let's get through this year. Let's just not get anybody hurt. And for the love of God, let Kiffin go and recruit and try and get somebody, because at the end of, because really he's not going to be judged by me personally until 2022 as to what he can really do. But, you know, as Neal, as you're akin to say, it's really going to come down to wins and losses, and hopefully he can survive long enough to where he can get his guys into his system, and hopefully we can all be cheering on and doing greater things.
Yeah, I can tell you that nobody is going to be judging Lane Kiffin before 2022. I mean, they're just not. Whether they should or shouldn't is you can have that debate if you'd like, but he's not getting judged at all until 2022, and quite frankly, there's no chance really that he's judged until 2023. And I'll be surprised if he's not. I'll be surprised if he's not doing big things by then. To be honest with you.
No, me too. I mean, I'm totally with you. I just my concern is just basically, you know, I'm reading the fan base here, you know, and seeing the board already blowing up, and it's like, guys, just drink now. Let's just get through it. Just do whatever you got to do. Drink beer, drink whiskey. I'm drinking rum. I'm finishing up the rum from as I finish up this research proposal as I watch this and listen to you guys. And it's just basically, let's just get through the year. Nobody get hurt. Just get at least a win over Mississippi State, and I'm happy. I'm good with that. And then let's just get ready for next year, and let's just let Kiffin do his thing. So other than that, you guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, we're good.
We're good. Chase has the bourbon over there where I can't get to it, and it's a little difficult to deal with that. But
it's rye.
We're rye, I should say.
Well, Chase, you really need to share that bourbon. Come on, dude. I mean, hell, I'm stuck up in Newport, Rhode Island right now, and all I got is rum and a bottle of
y'all are pretty
11-15.
Y'all are pretty locked down in Rhode Island right now, huh?
I'm not locked down, thankfully. Well, I'm not told the Navy decides to lock me down again, but, can only do so much. But anyway, thanks, guys. Keep doing the great stuff you're doing, and hopefully we'll survive this year, and we'll be able to party hardy next year.
Thanks,
Sounds
Joe.
Good. Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, okay, let's see. Hey, who do we have?
What's going on, guys? It's Tommy from Oxford.
Hey, Tommy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
What's up?
You got two Spencers on the show. The Spencer from New Orleans, he's kind of funny, but the Spencer from Florida, he needs to move out of his mama's basement, don't you think?
I'd rather not comment on either Spencer at this moment.
All the gamer thing right there. I mean, it just makes me think that guy lives in his mama's basement.
Like I said, I really just don't want to comment on any Spencers right now.
I'm sure you can't.
Just want to leave Spencers alone at this point.
I can't say I didn't expect what happened tonight. I mean, Barry Odom's kind of a genius on defense. I mean, he's been figuring out offenses all year long. I mean, the guy's pretty smooth, ain't he?
He's a very good defensive coordinator. Look, Pittman's got whatever you think of Arkansas's talent or whatever. Pittman, Georgia goes deep. Look at that.
Touchdown, Georgia.
Whatever you think of their talent, they have a very good coaching staff. Kendall Briles is highly thought of. I know that Jeff Lebby and Lane Kiffin obviously are very high on him. And Odom's a terrific defensive coordinator. It didn't work as a head coach at Missouri, but he's a terrific coordinator. And they've got a bunch of good coaches, and they've done a remarkably good job with that team. No matter what you think of their talent or whatever, that part's indisputable. And what are they, 2-2 now? They should be 3-1. And so,
that's what I was going to say. Those guys are one bad call away from being 3-1, man.
Yeah, and that's if you had told anybody before the season that Arkansas would be 3-1 after 4 games, you could have gotten those odds. I don't know. Or you could have gotten a gazillion to 1 on that someplace. So,
but before the season, I called them 0-10. I mean, I ain't exactly saying that right now.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody thought. So, but I don't. Go ahead.
I think the defense played better tonight, and I think we will get better as a team. But I ain't giving up on them. You know what I mean? This is, like you say, year 0. I'm ready to see these guys do it in the next couple of years. I'm not expecting a whole lot this year.
Yeah, and that's the smart way to be, really. Well, hey, Tommy, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have a good night.
You too.
I mean, that is one thing with this is that, yeah, look, if they play like that on offense and they have 7 turnovers, not win very many games, but you at least know what the offense is capable of in some weird way. Tonight sort of did raise their ceiling a little bit for what they can do on a specific night because you know what I mean? Because of the way the defense played, you at least now have that as an option where you go, okay, well, I mean, they played pretty good assignment football tonight. I mean, I know they've almost given up 40 points, give up 33, and I get Felipe Franks in Arkansas is not great, but I mean, same team that scored 30 on Auburn. And look, Auburn is not great defensively. They're not anywhere near as talented as we're used to up front. They do tackle well. They're pretty fundamentally sound. It's not like they're You're at least seeing that now.
Hello,
Nick Weaver from Blue Delta Jeans. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Hey, man. Just enjoying a beautiful day in Oxford, Mississippi.
How'd the golf tournament go? I know Chase didn't win.
I didn't win.
No, the golf tournament was good. We had 144 players sign up. We are finishing 15 teams tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. But there was some serious golf. I mean, people were out there, drinking ultras and White Claws, but there were some people that were definitely taking the game really serious.
There was a few more sticks there this year, Nick. I'm glad I got the trophy over here and all last year, but there was the field was a little more stacked this time. We did not play as well as last time, but I will tell you because we've been talking about this for 2 weeks, and I mean, Nick didn't tell me to say this. I will just say it. I did play in the Genos yesterday. And if anybody is picking up a pair of pants, that would be the way to go because you absolutely can play golf in them. They were completely comfortable. They work just as well as and better as any golf pant. They're actually going to fit. So it's the first time I played in them, Nick, and I was really impressed. I haven't even told you that off air, but I'll tell you here as we're talking. So,
oh, nice. Well, I wish the Genius would have bought you a little better score.
Well, maybe it is their fault, Nick. It's their fault. I mean, the rest of my game was fine. It was the pants' fault. So it is what it is.
Right. It was probably that swing, but I think they're going to there.
Yeah, it's all good. Would you have benched Matt Corral today? I mean, everybody else has an opinion. What'd you think of the game?
I mean, and I am an Ole Miss fan, and I think, our head coach and OC have done a damn good job with the team. The winds were at 25 miles per hour pregame, and I'm not a weather guy or anything, but that's that may or may not make it hard to throw the ball around, and I stutter. I've not been drinking that much. I just want to make that clear on the air. I'm like, man, this guy's hammered. But no, it's hard to win a game at that. But when you turn the ball over 6 or 7 times, but we were in the game until the last few minutes. We had our best players in there to win the game. You would definitely had to throw the ball. We were down 3 scores most of the game. So if you have to throw the ball and you have to win, well, then you have to have Matt Corral in the game. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, no doubt. It's exactly right. I mean, days like this are going to happen, especially in a new program where you're trying to do things differently. You're going to have days where you play above your head, and you're going to have days where you play below. And today was one of the days they played below, and it happened 7 days after offensively they played above their head probably.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and, not to talk about, and not to be the ultimate Ole Miss fan and, be where our glass is half full, but our defense really showed up today. And if we can apply those two, I mean, if you add or if you take away the rough and the kicker call there, we have our early stop, and that changes the whole momentum. That puts our offense going faster. That may change the whole dynamic of the game. But we, our defense kept us in the game, even with, crazy number of turnovers, and we still had a chance to win the game in the last minute. So, if we can put the defense and the offense together, we may be a damn good team.
Nick, I see you got a new website up with Blue Delta. It's looking good. You got a lot of options there. People got their virtual closets. But how do we get Neal in the big the gallery of stars, all the photos there? I know you got Aaron Barrett and Eli Manning and other people like that, but Neal is not pictured in that.
That's unbelievable.
Neal's going to have to up his Peloton game. I mean, I just want to say that. I mean, that's going to have to happen first, and then we'll talk. So.
You know what happens tomorrow for me? If I get on tomorrow will be my 1,000th ride.
Well, really?
Yeah. Today I did my 900.
Do you get virtual confetti when that happens?
I don't know. I've never done 1,000 rides before. I don't know what happens when you ride 1,000 rides.
Yeah. No. I mean, and I am definitely throwing some shame on that. Sorry, Neal. We need to get some pictures of you up on the internet. I have your Peloton game is strong, so sorry. No. Not trying to hate over here.
No, it's all good. I need to drop a few. I'm working on it.
No.
Well, hey, anything else? Anything else going on that the people need to know about Blue Delta?
Well, man, thank you guys for the partnership. Thank you for spreading the love. There is not a week I don't go by where I'm meeting someone new and they say that the first time they heard about us was on the podcast. So, thank you for talking about the product. Thank you for wearing the product. I mean, you guys are great billboards. So, we appreciate that. We do have some new fabrics. We have some, but but we do still have the same old quality, product. So, you guys stop by the store for any private fittings. We are doing some outdoor fittings at the factory too as well. So we will be doing some live music events at the factory, doing some holiday gift parties out there. We'll be as COVID sensitive as we need to be as well. So if you guys want to book those, the holidays are filling up fast. So we are on a gift card record year. So if you guys want to, book any private corporate fittings at the factory or at the store on the square in Oxford, please let us know. So,
thank you, Nick. Take care.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, guys.
That was our friend Nick Weaver, Blue Delta Jeans. Yeah, there's no shortage on the phones, man. People wanting to talk, and I'm getting. Hey, hang on one second there, caller. I'm just one message after another about why did they not change quarterbacks? Why did they not change quarterbacks? It's amazing.
Hello.
Hey, who's this?
This is Spencer from the basement.
Hey, Spencer from the basement.
I was just calling to see what y'all thought about anything tonight. Everything went to shit. No, really what I was talking about was I want to see what y'all are drinking tonight.
Whistle Pig 18 rye. It's very good.
Is it good?
It's good.
What do y'all think about that Eagle Rare?
I love Eagle Rare. It's excellent.
It is a great alcoholic beverage for its price. There's no doubt. It's one of the best in its price range now.
Another thing I wanted to say, and I'm calling for Neal exactly. What happened with you and Bo Bounds?
Really simple. I told him I did not want to be I wasn't going to be his Ole Miss guy if Robertson was his Mississippi State guy, because I was not going to be compared to Robertson, because I consider myself at least a quasi-journalist, and I don't think Steve is one. And even after I told him that, he kept doing it, and so I told him I couldn't do a show anymore. Simple as that. Nothing happened. Just I wasn't going to be labeled like that.
And I respect that, because I think Robertson is a douche. I think everybody thinks that with his books that he writes. But another thing I wanted to ask was, what is your best old-fashioned recipe?
Yeah, mine is
he likes the orange and the cherry muddled. Make sure you use about 2 ounces of club soda in it when you put the liquor in, and then and really use simple syrup and sugar ground in at the same time. He's all about it.
Just a little brown sugar.
A lot of crushed ice.
No, just a little brown sugar, simple syrup, some Angostura bitters, little orange bitter.
Oh, it tastes chemical to me.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Just a little, not much. And I can do without that. Just the Angostura is fine. And then add the bourbon, stir, add an ice cube, express an orange peel, put that in, and that's it. End of game. Very simple.
Okay, well, I called in earlier, and I completely shit the bed when I called. I lost my shit. I had
that's okay. That's okay.
No expectation of getting through.
It's all right.
Well, hey, thanks for the call, Spencer.
Yeah, you're welcome. I listen to y'all every day. Every day I listen to y'all. I've been drinking all day, as you can expect. But
all good. We
enjoy your show.
We appreciate it very much.
I listen to it all the time, and thank y'all for what y'all do. And I'm sorry for being a drunk ass.
No, you're all good. Thank you, Spencer, for the call.
Thank you.
When people say, "Did y'all put this up in podcast form?" No, we did not, and will not.
There's no chance.
There is zero chance. Don't ask. It's not happening. Who called? Who's this?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Who is this?
Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing well. Who is this?
This is Austin.
Hey, Austin. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I've got a couple questions actually for Chase.
Okay.
Sure. first question, Chase, how would you top 3 golf courses in Mississippi? Or where do you go with? Do you go Old Waverly, Mossy Oak, Annandale, Jackson CC?
Just strictly to play as far as enjoyable. Mossy
Yeah,
Oak,
they don't whoop your ass. Just kind of you can go out there and have a good time.
Yeah, I just mean like as far as you have a lot of fun. Mossy Oak, Fallen Oak, and Waverly.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Dancing Rabbit?
No, I just kind of like something a little different. I mean, I actually have Mossy Oak number 1, like because we're so used to just parkland golf courses around here. Like everything's the trees and the normal stuff. Like Waverly's always fantastic, but there's nothing like Mossy Oak. Fallen Oak has kind of a different feel to it too. Yeah, something that's a little something that makes you feel like you're not in Mississippi or not just a typical Parkland Country Club golf course. So I think that's why. But Waverly's so good. It'd be stupid to not be in the top 3 though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't made my way out to Mossy Oak. Is it the real deal?
Yeah, it's actually, I think it's Golf Digest. I think out of courses you can play, like they did the top 100, I guess, so public or courses you can get on or whatever. They actually have Mossy Oak rated above Waverly on that list.
Really?
Yeah, just because it screws with your depth perception and stuff because there's very few trees and it just gives you a different feel. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else like it in the state. And as it grows into itself, I think it's going to move up the list even more.
Okay. Well, so here's my second question. So I'm currently playing AP3s right now. I'm thinking about making an upgrade.
All right.
What's the way that you lean? Are you into like the hollow cavity, lowering the CG, putting the speed foam in there, like kind of like the power irons, I guess you could say, the hot metals, that kind of stuff? Or are you more into like a traditional cavity back blade? I know Callaway just came out with
Jeffrey would love this because there is no gimmick that Jeffrey does not love about a golf club. The more gimmicks, the more likely he is to buy it. So this would be right up his alley.
Okay.
But I kind of fall into that too. I'm hitting PXGs.
Okay. Oh, you're into the PXGs. All right.
Yeah.
High roller.
Well, no, but I'm far from good. I've gotten just good enough though that like a forged head is nice because I can actually get the feedback on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like like that's the thing. Like I realized that the cast clubs was just not giving any feedback whatsoever. So I do at least I won't ever go to a golf club that's not a forged head at this point.
Oh yeah, I've got a buddy. He just bought the P790s, but he's kind of like the stereotypical get to the launch monitor. He hits a 7-iron like 180, 190, and he's like, oh, God, I got to buy these. I don't know if I kind of want to go down that road or get something more, a little bit more workable. I'm kind of leaning Mizuno. I'm a big fan of the HMBs. I don't know if you're...
Mizunos are fantastic irons. No, but the biggest thing
I've never hit a Mizuno iron, and I'm kind of just like, I feel like they're calling my name.
Well, the biggest thing is just don't go... I mean, for anybody, like, don't go get something and go, oh, my 7-iron goes a ton farther, but it's because it's 5 degrees lighter. 5 degrees less than loft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, everything is, I play with him a good bit, and he hits like a 7-iron. I'm hitting like a 5-iron. I'm like, well, dude, like, your iron is de-lofted by multiple degrees, and you got the hollow cavity and the lower CG. Like, like your 7-iron is going to go as far as my 5-iron. It's kind of one of those ordeals. But last thing, how'd y'all play today? Or did y'all play yesterday?
Played yesterday. We finished no better than a tie for third, maybe. Might even been 5. I don't know. We made no putts. We shot 8 under. It was
okay.
Yeah, like I know somebody told me today there was a 14 posted. So yeah, no, they'll know.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was about it. I'm kind of over football. I watched the game today, obviously, and didn't enjoy that too much. And I'm sitting here watching the Alabama-Georgia game, and that's about it. I figured we're playing some golf tomorrow, so I figured I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call them and ask Chase about a little golf.
Yeah, all good.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night.
Same to you.
Maybe I'll call in later, or not later, but next week.
All right. Thanks, Austin. Hey, who do we have? Hey, caller, who do we have?
This is Lewis Titan from Humble, Texas.
Tell me the name again.
Lewis Titan from Humble, Texas.
Hey, Lewis.
How you doing today?
We're great. How are you?
Well, good. I've been better. But the reason I'm calling is, the Rebels lost today, but more importantly, the Astros are proving right now that they're not cheaters.
They're losing right
Y'all
now, aren't
agree?
they? Well, they're losing to the Rays right now, huh?
Well, I know that, but they are where they are. I mean, they're in the ALCS, and I mean, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but I mean, the Rebels proved that today.
Right.
But I mean, I think that they've made it to the ALCS, and everybody's talking about beating trash cans and beating whatever else, but I mean,
Well, they're not really talking about it. They did it. They caught them.
What now?
They're not really talking about it. They caught them. I mean, they cheated.
Well, I did they really though? I mean,
Yes, they really did.
If they cheated, why would they be where they are now?
Well,
nobody said they weren't a good baseball team.
No one said that.
That's the answer.
Well, I mean,
It's
Lewis, no one is saying that they're not a good team, and no one is saying that they're cheating now. People are saying that they cheated in 2017 when they won the World Series because they got caught, and they did.
But they got caught. It's a bunch of ex-coaches. It's a bunch of
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Of guys in the background that aren't swinging the bats. They're not throwing the balls. It's other people.
Lewis, if a major league hitter knows what's coming, it's an incredible advantage as opposed to a major league hitter who doesn't know what is coming.
I played middle school baseball and hit 100. I knew what was coming.
Yeah. We can play around all you want. They cheated. They're still a very good team, but they cheated their way to a World Series, and it's tainted. And so if they want to untaint it, they're going to have to win another one without cheating. So simple as that.
Well, it's coming in about 5 more games. 1 more tonight and 4 more right after that.
If that happens, man, they'll be able to finally have an untainted World Series, and good for them. But the one that they won is tainted.
I disagree, but I think I think we can just agree to disagree on this.
We can disagree to disagree.
We're all sports fans. We're all sports fans. We're all in this together. COVID 2020.
Right.
And I mean, hell, Freeze cheated more than the Astros.
No, actually, Freeze didn't cheat as much as the Astros because he couldn't come up with the funds that he needed to finish the deal on some of those guys.
Yeah, I know, because he's spending on Asian massages.
No.
Things like that. I mean, hell.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Lewis, good luck.
Good luck to your Astros. Beacons of fair play and hope.
Fair play and hope. Hey, caller, who do we have?
Boys, I didn't mean to hurt Spencer's feelings a while ago.
It's okay. I think he's going to be all right.
Hey, man, I'm having a little trouble digging around on the Rebel Grove.
Oh, really? What's happening?
Like the other night, I couldn't even find you guys' podcast. Like Thursday night, I wanted to watch. I mean,
do you
I couldn't even watch Thursday night.
Well, do you subscribe to our YouTube page?
Yes, sir. I'm subscribed, and I'm a subscriber to Rebel Grove.
Have you signed up for the notifications? Do you click the little bell where you get a notification?
I don't do notifications.
Chase, see if you can help him with notifications here.
Yeah, when you subscribe on the YouTube page, there's a little bell next to it. Just hit the bell, and you'll automatically get update like a little message on your phone when we hit the live button every time, or on your computer or whatever you're subscribed you're sitting on.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, when I watched it the next day, but I mean, I wasn't able to follow along live.
Yeah,
I think at the beginning you guys were having trouble with your Twitter. That's usually what I do is I go on Twitter and then I see one of you guys' names pop up and it says, "Hey, going live in a few minutes," and I just click that link.
Yeah, Twitter was down.
Yeah,
so
Twitter was down.
As long as Twitter is up and running, you can do that without issue, and it'll be all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all
right. Hey, well, if Spencer's listening, man, I apologize. I wasn't trying to hurt his feelings, man.
He'll be
It's all right. I just having a little fun.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, he'll cope.
He won't remember.
All right, boys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thanks. Hey, who do we have, caller?
This is Sims.
Sims?
You what?
Sims, you said?
Yeah, Sims from Amory.
Hey, Sims.
What's up?
Just hanging out on the internet, man.
Living the dream, really.
Yeah.
Oh, am I on the show?
You are absolutely on the show, live and in color.
Oh gosh, I thought I had to go through like somebody had to pick up, and then I'd get.
Hey, we're a small shop, okay?
We're not. I don't know who you think we are, but we're not.
all right. So I was watching the game today. Going in, I was talking to a bunch of state fans because I'm a senior in high school, and most of my friends are state fans because I'm from Amory. So they were all like, Matt Corral, he's been doing good or whatever. If y'all are gonna win, you're gonna win just off Matt Corral. Well, I guess today showed how much football sense we all have in Amory. So, I'm really disappointed right now. Like, I don't know how to put it. What was it? 6 interceptions?
6 interceptions
and a fumble.
Yeah, that too. Like, what happened? I mean, we almost beat Alabama last week,
Well, one week does not always carry over to the next. As we talk about, you got to be really careful with the transitive property as it pertains to college football. That will get you burned. And
it's a stupid game, and it doesn't always.
One of the things that makes college football fun is the stupidity of it. And,
Well, you want to talk about stupid. What about Ole Miss and Arkansas,
Right.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Just, going all the way back to, all the way back to 2014. Like, whoever's supposed to win always loses.
Well,
whoever's supposed to lose always wins.
Well, I will remind you that when this game went off the board today, when the kickoff kicked, the line was either 1 or 1.5. One Las Vegas book had it at a pick. So nobody had a great feel. There was no real consensus among bettors as to who was going to win this game. Is that fair, Chase? When the line is 1,
toss-up.
Yeah, it's essentially everybody was like, I don't know what the hell to expect.
Well, and Arkansas playing so well against Auburn last week shaped some public opinion and lowered the line because that made more people willing to take the shot on Arkansas.
And Ole Miss playing as well as it played offensively against Alabama had people thinking, boy, this Ole Miss offense is elite. And the truth is this Ole Miss offense can be elite. But today they came back to earth a little bit. A lot bit.
Well, like, from what I've seen, going into today, I was like, well, if we lose today, like, if you told me on Tuesday that we were going to lose the game, I would have been like, okay, well, the final score was like 50-something to 45 or something, Like, I would have never guessed that, we didn't at least get into the 30s,
Well, if I told you they turned the ball over 7 times, you would have guessed that they didn't get into the 30s. It's hard to get into the 30s.
Yeah, but
turn it over 7 times.
If you told me that Max turned the ball over 7 times, I would have been like, you're crazy.
Well, if I told you that Matt Corral's QBR today, thanks to my friend Martin D in the chat, would be 9.4, you'd have said, uh-oh. So, it's just, hey, look, it's one game. If it happens again next week, it's a different conversation, but it's one game. He's had 3 great games and 1 awful game. The defense has had.
You're right. But I also, like, after the Alabama game, I was like, and, I'm an Ole Miss fan, so I never get my hopes up too high. But I was like, we almost beat Alabama. We have a shot at like 7-3 because we're Ole Miss. We'll mess up along the way, but like I was like, worst case scenario, we're going 6-4. But if we keep this up, 6-4 would be like best case scenario,
Yeah, look, if you offered Lane Kiffin 6-4 right now, he would jump at it. And if the football gods came down and offered you 6-4 and you didn't take it, I would question your sanity.
You're correct. Like before the season, you said 6-4. I'd be like, yes, give it to me now.
If I offered you 5-5 right now, would you take it?
Is that 5-5 with a?
It's 5-5. No questions.
No qualifications.
It's 5-5. I offer you 5-5 right now. Do you take it?
I'd rather go 3-7 with a top 15 recruiting class because that's all that matters right now.
You just answered the entire question.
Yep.
Believe it or not,
that's
the right
really
answer.
Worked up for about 30 to 45 minutes, and then I started thinking about it. I was like. Before the Kentucky game, I was looking at this like all that mattered was recruiting. Like all we got to do is get
big time prospects to just look at Ole Miss and maybe take a visit, and they probably come. You know, if they take a visit, they'll probably come. But I don't know. I guess they just got me too hooked in last weekend.
Well, Sims,
I was at the game, and there was a lot of energy in there, and I just felt like we were back. It felt like 2015 again when I was in there last weekend, and I got my hopes up.
Well, and in 2000, was it 2015 or 2014 when Ole Miss went to Fayetteville and lost 30-0? That was 14. Yeah,
it was 14 when they went to Fayetteville and lost, and it was 15 on 4th and 25.
Here's what I can tell you, Sims. All that matters is recruiting.
I agree 100%.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Just nothing. Just interesting times. Hey, who's on the phone?
Ben in Fulton.
Hey, Ben in Fulton. How are you?
Fine. How are y'all doing tonight?
We are good.
Change of pace a little bit. Maybe talk about somebody that may be in a little worse mental state than we are tonight. Mississippi State, Kylan Hill didn't play today, and in Leach's press conference, he didn't know when he would be back. It was my understanding.
Well, if that's the case, then he's basically left, and they don't want to admit that yet.
Right, and he was tweeting during the game. Also,
Kylan Hill was.
Yes, he was tweeting, encouraging his brothers. I believe I seen one that he was encouraging his brothers, but we'd heard the rumors all week about him not being there today, and it turned out to be true, and no reason given why.
Look, I don't think it's going to work. I've said that for a while, and nothing that I saw today changes my mind.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to work. I think coaching in Mississippi is different than coaching in Washington. I think coaching an SEC school is different than coaching a Pac-12 school, and I think coaching SEC athletes is going to prove to be quite difficult for Mike Leach, and I don't think it's going to work.
I mean, I enjoy how he does, but I believe with today's athletes, it's not going to work. The fat little girlfriends from back in the day that he said, that was all funny then.
Yeah.
But I don't believe, and that's been, 10 years ago? 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't believe that'll work with today's athletes.
No, it doesn't. You've got to coach differently now than you did then. It's why I'd rather have I either want a young coach who gets it, or I want an older coach who's adaptable. I do not want a rigid coach, and I think Leach is rigid.
I agree. Also, I'd seen where somebody tweeted where the state team goes in front of the band, and I don't know if they sang their alma mater, but Leach went to the locker room. Didn't stay.
Oh, he didn't go with
so
it.
It's going.
Yeah, it's going
That's
south
what
fast.
somebody put on Twitter. I wasn't there, but
yeah. Well, if that's the case, it's going south fast. If that's the case.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
As you said, it's probably his best defense, and he's definitely not going to sign a ton of Kylan Hills.
I mean, can you even think about getting another Kylan Hill?
I mean, especially after what you're doing to Kylan Hill.
I mean, you're destroying him, which is kind of the Kiffin Corral thing. Hey, who do we have? Hey, who's this?
We have a whole party.
Hey, who do we have?
Hello?
Hey, who do we have?
We have Bruce Jabberjaw from Amity Island. Wanted to call and talk about my Sharks today.
Okay.
I'm happy about it as far as we're growing as a team, as a program. I think it was a bad day. It was a bad loss. If you're going to take a loss, take a good one, because we did about everything wrong you could do, from the roughing the not roughing, but running into the kicker, to the interceptions, to the missed blocks. It was just bad all the way around. But I do think we're going to just keep getting better and better. Also, when you said earlier, I read a post, or maybe it was one of your podcasts talking about Kiffin may have a list of demands. Can you go into some? I mean, not full detail, but can you list some of that? Like some of the demands. Would that be facilities? Would that be salary? Would that be possibly changing the Rebels to the Sharks? Just what are some of those?
I think I don't know of anything. My suspicion is that Kiffin will want facility upgrades. He'll want to be able to compete with the big boys in the league as it pertains to locker room and facilities and all of those things.
That's pretty much what I thought and my friends thought. I don't think it's going to be just I have to be a super high paid coach, because I do want to hold on to him. I'm under no illusion that he could, he could leave in 3 years and take another job, but I just hope he leaves us in better shape than he found it.
Well, look, if he's going to leave, right? This is why I don't mean this is not directed at you. I get a little frustrated with this topic, and here's why. He's not leaving until he does something really productive, and it's going to take him a little while to do that, as we see. This isn't going to be, walk in to a program that went 4-8 and suddenly go 10-2 and then go 12-0 and then win the national title and leave. It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that fast. It's, when you start a workout program and you go to the gym for the first time and you're like, man, this is hard. If it were easy, everybody would walk around and look ripped and look like supermodels and stuff. There's a reason that everybody doesn't, is because it's hard. And this is hard, so it's going to take a little while.
Do you think Corral is the type of quarterback? I mean, obviously he's got a strong arm, but is that his model quarterback, or do you think there's another type quarterback that he would like to fit into this offense?
It's very similar to that.
It's very similar. The quarterback that he'd like to fit into this offense is there's one in Starkville right now, and there's one in New Orleans.
That's kind of what myself and my friends were thinking.
And so
well.
he's always keep in mind, right? So here's the point again, in case people missed it. He wants to recruit those two kids and kids like those two kids. Do you recruit those kids by running the quarterback all over the place and yanking the quarterback out when he has a bad game, or do you recruit those kids by showing, hey, here's what we're going to do?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that point, and I think Plumlee will probably transfer to find a system that better fits his skill set, and that's fine, because this is what we do, and I think it's what winning programs do. I just don't think many successful programs can run their quarterback as their primary offensive weapon.
Well, I'm watching two really successful programs play each other right now on television, and
I'm watching it at a friend's house. We got about 20 people over here watching. I had to sneak off to a room to make the phone call. We're watching the same, and the difference in athletes is staggering, honestly.
It's stark.
The ability to close on the ball on defense is something we just don't have.
Yep.
The speed at every position, that's what we want to get to under Kiffin, and I think we're going to get there. I think I've been listening to your podcast for a while, and I'm a member on your site. I've always appreciated your ability to separate yourself and call it the way you see it. I like that. So
thank you. Well, you made a lot of really good points tonight. That's the bottom line, is that the two programs on the television tonight is what you're trying to get to. And if anybody thinks that there's a quick route to that, they're out of their minds. There's not. I mean, here's the truth, right? Listen, here's the truth. Georgia tonight, right now, at this moment, is trying to catch Alabama. Now, they're damn close. They're really close, but they haven't gotten there yet. And Kirby's been at Georgia for 4 years?
4 years, I believe.
This is year 4, year 5 for him at Georgia. It's a process. I mean, not to be cliche and to steal from the Nick Saban terminology, but Nick Saban's been at Alabama since 2008 or 2007. Been a while. Doesn't happen right away. No quick fix in this deal. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, that's what I agree, and I think Kiffin is absolutely the best hire we could have made. And like I said, a lot of people are worried about him leaving. I'm just worried about him just making us good. And if he leaves, well, I trust in Carter to make it a good hire.
Well, for him to leave, he's either got to make you good or it's got to be a train wreck. And so it's one of the two things. Otherwise, he's here. He's for him to leave to get a better job, a quote better end quote job. He's got to win big at Ole Miss first.
I completely agree, and I do think Carter. He made a good hire this time around. I think he'd make another one. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great evening, and I'll talk to y'all next week when we play Auburn.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Bruce.
Okay, bye.
17 all here between the Tigers and the Tide and the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Boy, he threw that thing into traffic, didn't he? Goodness gracious. Hey, who do we have?
Well, if it isn't Jimmy T from D.C. So tonight, I'm a little disappointed. The Rebels, they hit a speed bump is what I'm going to say. It's not a stop. There's no stop sign, but it's certainly a speed bump.
Yeah.
I believe in John Rice Plumlee, and I'm disappointed that he didn't get a minute on the field. Well, so from start to finish, I saw Matt Corral give the ball to the opponent 7 times. 7. How does that make any sense? What do we do next week? What do we do when Coach Lane Kiffin? He's got to say, hey, he's got to put his foot down. He's got my mama come in the room. And she say, Jay.
I just can't. Sorry.
You got to at least be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be funny, you got to be funny.
He was yelling a little bit.
He was kind of upset, yeah.
So loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the calling every week because I love you and all, but I don't think any of them are the same people.
It's just this. Someone said Arkansas, I would have picked that. It's true. Hey, caller, who do we have?
Hey, this is Eric from Memphis. I called in last week as well. How y'all doing?
Hey, Eric, we're good. How are you?
I'm good. Guys, I kind of feel like my optimism is a little, premature. I talked about, how good this offense was compared to 2015 and, Kenny Yeboah, and we really didn't see that tonight. But, I can see some of the issues. Like, Kiffin, I heard the press conference after, he talked about how Corral was, kind of looking at where he was throwing and whatnot. But I do wonder, because this wasn't really asked, I don't think, do you think because the run game was stuffed that, it kind of also screwed up the pass game a lot?
Absolutely. Both Lane Kiffin and Matt Corral said that, especially Lane said right off the bat that had they been able to establish the running game the way that they thought they would have at the beginning, that they would have won the game by several scores. But they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't get the run game going, and that got them, you hear coaches say this, it kind of got them behind schedule a little bit and made them do some things that they weren't prepared to do. I mean, look, at some point, and you know this, Eric, I mean, at some point you've got to say, hey, the other team had a plan too, and their plan initially worked better than Ole Miss's plan. And so Ole Miss was forced to kind of play from behind, and they almost did it. I mean, they did. They had the football with the chance to go win the game. And Corral made a bad read, bad throw. Arkansas picked it. You know the rest.
Yeah. Well, and I've been saying this too, especially after, this game. Barry Odom is just like the star of that Sam Pittman staff. He really is.
Well, he's really good. He was an excellent hire on Pittman's part. There's no way around that. Sam has put together a really good staff. If you talk to football people, and I talked to some football people all week this week, and they all said the same thing, that he's really and Lane said it today too. I mean, that they've put together a really good staff, and they're doing a really good job with those kids there.
Yeah. And to the last person that was on, I'm glad they didn't put in Plumlee. Again, it just messes up the chemistry of the offense, so he doesn't fit it. So, it's good to stick with the guy, even if he's having a bad game, just to show other quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, look.
Hey, that's that guy.
I mean, look, if Matt does this again next week, it's a different conversation. If Matt does this, against South Carolina after he does it against Auburn, it's a different conversation. I mean, you have those conversations, but Matt had a terrific game against Florida. He's the reason you beat Kentucky, and he had you in position in the middle of the fourth quarter to have a shot against Alabama. That probably earns him a second chance, and that's what Lane Kiffin's thinking too. It's again Odom. Give Odom credit here, if nothing else, and you have, and I'm just kind of in general, Barry Odom had a plan for them that I don't think either Lane Kiffin or Matt Corral completely expected. Matt said this is not a look that they had exactly seen. They threw a wrinkle at it. They tried to adjust, and the adjustments didn't work. I'll be fascinated to see what Matt does
Kevin Steele does the same thing
next week, because Kevin Steele's going to look at this film and try to tweak it and change it, and he's going to throw a look at Corral that he thinks will confuse him. And because, look, Auburn comes into this game kind of freaked out too, right? I mean, Auburn got popped today. Auburn got beat by Arkansas. The officials bailed them out. I mean, Auburn's got some issues.
Yeah, they do. It might be kind of a fight to who's going to be, 5th, 6th, and 7th between Ole Miss, I guess, Mississippi State and Auburn right now from the looks of things. But, maybe I'm talking too far ahead. But
yeah, it's a little early. I think today it's pretty obvious that Alabama's the best team in the West, and I think it's becoming apparent that Texas A&M is probably the second best team in the West. And then after that, I don't know. I mean, you got Arkansas, you got Ole Miss, you got LSU, you got Auburn. I think Mississippi State's the worst team in the West. And those other 4, I don't know what the difference is. I mean, today Arkansas beat Ole Miss, so you have to say at least for one day Arkansas is better than Ole Miss, but that doesn't mean that they're better than them as a program or whatever. So, we'll see.
Yeah. And really just the last thing, and I'll let y'all go after this. I think this week, just like all the other weeks, have just kept reminding us anything can happen this year.
Well,
I mean,
truer words have not
year.
Yeah, truer words have not been spoken. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Thanks, Eric.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Georgia draws Alabama off on a second hard count. They tried it the first time, didn't get it, then tried it again and got it. Got a first and goal now. 17 all with 32 seconds left in the half here.
Oh, he overthrew him, had him open. Hey, who's this?
This is Cam in Dallas.
Hey, Cam, what's up?
Well, for all the Plumlee people out there, but y'all ain't on a little secret. There was never a quarterback competition. I mean, I don't think there was, because Corral's the guy. If they're not going to put him in when he throws 6 interceptions, they're not going to put him in. So quit clamoring for it on Twitter and all this stuff. I mean, he's not an SEC quarterback. He can't throw the ball. Defense played good today.
Yeah, defense played really well.
And Chase said it earlier. You got to find a second receiver. The fact that Mingo and Drummond just poor effort on routes and Mingo just not catching the ball. That's a little ridiculous. And people were saying Dennis Jackson. Well, I have first-hand experience against Dennis Jackson. I played against him in high school. He's not a receiver. He's just an athlete. So they throw a lot of screens to him. And I mean, now that's 2016. I graduated in 17, so that's 2016. That's 3 years ago. Four football seasons ago. So he may have got better, but from what I've seen, he's not the answer as your second receiver, or he would be playing, obviously. But
I don't know that they've established who the second receiver is. I think the leader in the clubhouse is Mingo, but
he's flash, but today not so much.
Yeah, he's so inconsistent. I think they don't go to him enough. They go to Elijah a lot, which is fine. You got to get your best players the ball. But they go to Mingo whenever Elijah gets taken away. I think they need to go more to Mingo earlier and get him going. Because I mean, if you're a receiver, you're standing out there and the ball's not getting thrown to you, ball's not getting thrown to you. Eventually, you end up having a route like Drummond where he's like, oh, well, they're not going to throw it to me anyway. You just run a bad route, you get a pick six or a pick or whatever. And, I mean, stuff like that happens. I mean, you see guys in the NFL do it. Being a Cowboys fan, I've seen Terrell Owens do it and it's been picked. I've seen Des Bryant do it and it's been picked. I've seen Amari Cooper do it and it's been picked. I mean, that's a mentality. You don't see Alabama's receivers doing that. You don't see Georgia's receivers doing that. And y'all said that earlier. That's where you want to get to. And they ain't doing that. So, I mean, it's a mentality thing. And Yeah, the Arkansas. I mean, it sucks we lost. Whatever. But does it really matter? No. If you pull Corral out, it's like y'all said. That's like Corral is going to be the guy that you're going to win with in 22. I mean, you can win some games with him now, but he's going to be the senior quarterback in 22. I doubt he comes out early. I mean, I doubt it. But he's going to be the guy that you're going to win with that's going to win those big games like last week. I mean, you didn't have the horses to win last week. You shouldn't have been in the game. But, I mean, it is what it is. We were in it, but, I mean, and you look at the Arkansas game just in the past, it's just been like, I mean, just funky stuff happens. I was at the Arkansas game when they got the 4th and 25. I mean, I was at the game when they had the slot receiver and Hunter Henry just light them up that one game. I think that's the same game. But, I mean, people just need to calm down. It ain't the end of the world. They're not going to fire Kiffin. Kiffin's not going anywhere. It's like y'all been saying. Y'all pretty bright. I mean, so.
Are there people actually talking about firing Kiffin? Are you serious?
I mean, people are just like joking in the live stream.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but it's
holy
like,
hell.
all right, come on now. I mean, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, like we can make the jokes or whatever. Like I even made a joke in the live stream saying that whenever Stetson Bennett threw the pick, he's got Corral 19. Like, all right, like just have some fun with it, laugh a little bit. When Corral goes to Auburn next week and throws 5 touchdowns, everybody's gonna be saying, "Oh my gosh, Heisman!" Oh my, like, all right, just like he's not a Heisman winner, but he's not KJ Costello either. So just chill out, hold your horses. I mean, Arkansas's got talent. They got talent. That's apparent, but just on the soapbox a little bit. But I'll let y'all guys go. I enjoy the show.
Thanks, Cam.
It's great. I love it. I watch it every day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cam. Appreciate you.
All right.
No, just woo.
I mean, we're saying a lot of the same things.
Yeah, it's been a little repetitive.
Yeah, we're getting a little repetitive at this point.
Yeah. Okay, we've gone more than 2 hours. Yeah, well over 2 hours.
About 2:23.
It's probably enough. I think we've covered the basic ground.
I think we've covered the game.
I
We
feel
got plenty for the week. Ole Miss and Auburn next week. We can do some cross promotion with JG as the week goes on. We could all just go in one show and just have a big hoot nanny.
That'd be interesting.
We could do that one day this week. See how it goes. We have that kind of technology now.
Do we?
So, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, we can do that. It's doable. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks to everybody for being in the stream today, for being with us. I know the game probably didn't go the way we all basically thought it would go, but fun day. Thanks to everybody from Chris Landry to Ryan Brown to Zach Arns to Mike Griffith, Jeffrey Wright, Nick Weaver, Pete DeWeese.
Oh, yeah.
Who else was with us?
I think that was all, obviously, Blind Pig.
Yeah, thanks to Blind Pig.
Yeah.
A fun day. So, Stranger Ev says, Neal and Chase, can you talk a little about the game?
I love that 2 hours in the go. So, what'd you think?
What'd you think? I don't know. I've almost forgotten. 24-17 Georgia as they get close to the half there in Tuscaloosa. So we're going to enjoy the second half ourselves. Thanks to all of you. We'll be back Monday with another edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast, and we'll be back on Saturday with another pregame show. Hand raise, guys. Starts at 9 a.m. next Saturday. Ole Miss and Auburn kickoff at 11. That game at Vaught Hemingway. I started to say Jordan Hare. That's not true. It's at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. So we'll be with you all week, throughout the week, and then ready for another Saturday with you here at MPW Digital. Thanks for being part of it. Don't forget, you can get a subscription. It's a first-year subscription at rebelgrove.com for just $12. Look on Twitter, look on the site, and get all that information. The offer's good through tomorrow, so take advantage of it, and we'll talk to you on Monday.